My name is Jean Marie Herron. I'm a certified professional organizer and the business development manager for the Junk Luggers. My mission is to improve the quality of people's lives through the decluttering of their homes and offices in an eco-friendly and non-judgmental way. If you'd like to see more of these videos, simply click the subscribe button. So welcome everybody. We're going to get started. This is my time timer, so I have 30 minutes with you all. This is to make sure I stay on time, and I like to be pretty prompt. So welcome to this month's POSSE's Pen. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Jean Marie Herron, and I wear two hats. I am a certified professional organizer with a company called POSSE, which is real small right now. I'm just organizing on the weekends because during the week I am the business development manager for the Junk Luggers. So I like to say I do the same thing I was doing with my organizing business, only on a much, much larger scale. So today, we're gonna talk about springing ahead with your memorabilia. And memorabilia doesn't have to be, cars and sewing machines and wedding dresses and pictures. In my many, many years going into people's homes and helping them with their memorabilia, I've seen people save everything from, pregnancy tests, to hearing aids, to curtains. Today, I'm going to show you lots of typical memorabilia, but the bottom line is, if it means something to you and it brings back a memory, it's probably memorabilia to you. So here we go. And I just want to mention that today's presentation is sponsored by the Junk Luggers. All right. I am recording it. You all got that little notice in your window. I'm going to ask you to stay muted until we open it up for Q&A. And if you have any particular questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. And my assistant, Deborah, will be manning the chat box. Also later, she's probably going to put some information in the chat box for you as well. And then next month on May 18th, because I always do the third Wednesday of each month for our POSSE's Pen, we're going to have what I call a round robin of clutterbuster strategies. So that's next month's topic. Then we'll go to Ask the Organizer, and then we'll close. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of what I hope is helpful tips, tricks, maybe techniques and suggestions as we go through probably very common memorabilia categories. So I like to say limit the size, space, or the container. This is my nanny's sewing machine. Those of you who've been with me a long time have seen this in many, many pictures. It's near and dear to my heart. And actually, when my grandmother was on her deathbed, one of the last questions she asked me was, Jean Marie, do you have my sewing machine? So yes, I do. I've had it refinished with a furniture refinisher, but on top is a little chest that was hers. And I like to look at that chest as my memorabilia boundary for things that my grandmother has given me or that I save. So if you were to open it up, you would find like her back scratcher and some of her favorite photos. You would find her little sucrets box that was filled with her little, needles, her sewing and push pins. So all different kinds of memorabilia that make me think of my nanny. But when you're dealing with memorabilia in your own home, or maybe you're in a downsizing situation, you want to say to yourself, what do I want the size, container, or space to be for this particular kind of memorabilia? So speaking of space, this is an area of my basement. I call this the memorabilia corner of the basement. And when we moved to this house a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, in our first downsize, we relegated all things memorabilia to this particular corner of the basement. So it's where the photo albums are. And I'm going to tell you about Laura in just a few minutes. So my photo albums are now digitized, which I'm so happy about. But anyways, this is where you can go, and this is also Nanny's rocking chair. You can go and sit in Nanny's rocking chair and put a photo album on your lap, take a look at the pictures, play a game. So think about the kind of spaces you want to dedicate for memorabilia. Jewelry is another one of those common items that gets passed down, is given as a gift, can be thinking about as memorabilia, wedding rings, that kind of thing. I'm actually wearing this necklace today just for today's presentation, but this necklace was given to me for my high school graduation from my mother, and I actually didn't like it when she first gave it to me. It had a gold herringbone chain, and I just didn't like the way it looked. I never wore it, and I felt pretty guilty about it. And I said to my mom, I said, do you mind if I change the chain on that? And she's like, no, it's your gift. You do whatever you want. So I changed it over to white gold, and now I wear it all the time. So, go through your jewelry boxes, think, are there pieces here that I want to give away now while I'm alive or as some kind of a special gift? Turn your jewelry into pieces that you would truly wear if you're not wearing them. And if they don't mean anything, well, I shouldn't say if they don't mean anything to you, because we are talking about memorabilia, but sometimes what somebody will give you in a monetary fashion can outweigh how much it means to you. So, if you could get a really good price for it, and you don't mind letting it go, you could always sell it. So that's jewelry. Furniture is another one of those items that a lot of people, it's a very common memorabilia item. This is an antique bench that my mother had, my grandmother had. I love it. And I recently had it reupholstered. And it just, it's kind of an out of the way piece, but every time I pass by it in my dining room, it makes me smile, and I just change out my seasonal pillows. So if you have furniture that you feel is memorabilia worthy, you could think about refinishing it. You could think about, reusing it for a different purpose, recycling or upcycling it in some way. And then, you could always let go of it if you really don't want it anymore. And again, it's not pulling too much on your heartstrings, but furniture is one of those things that is really hard to donate these days, to let go of. I collect furniture every day of my life now with the junk luggers. So much of what goes onto our trucks is furniture, and we try to, give it away to charity and recycle it and upcycle it as well. But there's some great furniture finishers out there, and if you can repurpose it and put it in a special area of your house to honor it and treasure that memory, that's great. This is another piece that I had done. It's a school table. It was my father-in-law's school desk, and it has the hole. My Alexa is covering up the hole, but for the old inkwell. But it's a versatile piece. I could put it anywhere in my home. So you can think about doing something like that. I've shown a picture in the past where I had a client who was really struggling with getting rid of the crib that she and her brother and her sister had when they were babies. And she took two sides of the crib and she made it into a chair. So, when it comes to your furniture, think about, if you want to keep it, what could you do to make it, useful and practical in your current home? Memorabilia clothing. So lots and lots of clothing, right? Whether we're talking about, fur coats, which is a conundrum in itself, wedding dresses, t-shirts, sweatshirts. Can you possibly have it tailored? Can it be made into something else? Can it be shortened? Can it be lengthened? Can it be turned into a vest? Can it be turned into a drawer liner? Can it be turned into a teddy bear if it's a fur coat? Can a wedding dress be turned into a pillow? If you look at the picture on the right, you'll see right in front of the mom pillow, you'll see a little rectangular pillow. That's actually one of the things I had made out of the wedding dress, because my daughter didn't want it. So, I didn't know what to do with it. So I just made a couple pieces of memorabilia out of it. And then, of course, most people know these days about, blankets and quilts, which you could easily do with flannel shirts, t-shirts, all those sweatshirts up in the attic, especially from all those sports days gone by. So you can turn a lot of your clothing into memorabilia. Books and media. I recently had a job where I emptied 15 Billy bookcases from IKEA, if you know what an IKEA Billy bookcase is. And I had almost 100 boxes of really good books from a particular client project. She kept the first editions and she donated the rest. So, there's plenty of media and books that touch on folks. So really, depending on how much you have in your home, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, figure out, which pieces are very important to you. This was a really large downsizing project, and they couldn't take very many books with them. So again, she was really choosy. She just went with the first editions, and we got everything else donated. Special memories, like I said, I've seen all kinds of things being saved. So, if you still have, your baby's teeth and hair and nail clippings and all that kind of stuff that people like to save, you could put it in some kind of a box. The box on the right, the little wooden box, is actually a box that my sister Nancy brought back to me. She'd spent a couple years in Africa working on mercy ships, and that was a gift that she brought back. And I have some special mementos in there. Hustle is my middle name because I love to hustle dance, and I have a dance instructor who gave that to me. And then over on the left, I still love my stuffed animals. I'll be the first person to admit it. I love stuffed animals. The guy in the back, his name is Slopes. He has a name. I wrote about this in last month's newsletter because he skis. I don't know if you can see his two skis on the bottom. And I lost my dad when I was 19 years old. And before my dad passed, he lived in Utah. And I think I only maybe got out there. He moved to Utah only a year or two before he passed. So I would go out there a couple times a year. And one time when I was out there, he bought me Slopes. But I have very little from my dad, very little physical things. So Slopes is really special to me. And that little pillow was my daughter's terry cloth robe when she was 2 years old that I had redone. So think about what your treasures are and how you might be able to memorialize them, save them, honor them, repurpose them, and turn them into things that you're going to see on a regular basis. So you guys can't see my office right now because I'm sitting in front of my computer, but I have I have 4 shelves right above my computer. And a lot of these things are sitting up on my shelves, and I get to see them every day. And it's kind of fun. You can always take a picture. So this was a floral arrangement that somebody had sent me one Christmas, and I thought it was absolutely adorable. And of course, the flowers didn't last, but I took a picture, and it's in my 2020 photo album, which is now digitized, which we're getting to. So you can always take a picture of things. And speaking of pictures, I'm going to be introducing Laura Antoni in a second from Video Magic Productions. And every time either I myself want to do something with pictures and media, I go to Laura, and I have recommended dozens of clients in my day to her business. And she takes all their media and all their pictures, and she turns them into something wonderful. Bear with me 1 second. I want to show you something. So, and when you leave her store, you come home with this. And all your stuff is on this. You'll see this. This is unbelievable to me. This is because I'm old, but this is what happens. So all your memories can go on this little stick. All right, it's so exciting. I get excited by things like this. So I went up to Video Magic, and I had a lovely visit with Laura. She's got all this incredible equipment. She's going to tell you what she can do, what she can't do. But I want you to look at the bottom middle picture. That is what this bed behind me looked like before I made my trip to see Laura, because I had organized for her. And you don't have to get organized for Laura, but that's what I do. So each baggie that you see on the bed was a different year. So the way I wanted my pictures organized on this little USB drive that came back to me was I wanted it done by year. So I had purposely gone and set aside the year's worth of pictures out of a lot of photo albums, because my photo albums take up 3 shelves. So I wanted to digitize. She's also working on a project with me for those DVDs. I was saying I already changed technology once. I got everything off the home videos from years and years ago and moved them to DVDs, and now I have to move them again because now that's outdated. And then there were paper memorabilia. So if you look at that oversized box in the front of the picture, these were things that, maybe my daughter drew for me, or the professional photos, so if, from the soccer club and the communion pictures and all of that stuff that were either in frames around my house or in a box. So I gave all that to Laura too. So I am going to introduce Laura now. So Laura, if you want to come off mute.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So why don't you just give everybody like a 30-second commercial about all the bajillion things you do, and then I'll open it up to Q&A in just a second.
Okay, well, I started my business 35 years ago. I can't believe that I'm actually still in business after all this time. And like yourself, customers came into my store to bring me films and tapes, and I put them onto VHS. Then they came back to me about 10 years later, and I put them onto DVDs. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting them onto external hard drives, or like Jean Marie showed you, a USB port. So that's basically what I do in my business. Anything that you have that you want to preserve, I can do that here at my store. I just bought some samples. I know a lot of you are organizers, so you might find something like this in people's homes. This is old film that I can transfer. There's 16 millimeter film, there's regular 8, and there's Super 8 film. So this is film. If you have anything that you see that looks like this is audio. I can do all kind of audio work if you see anything like this. Okay. And also cassettes. I can also do audio cassettes. A lot of different media. These are called C tapes, like in CAT, and these little things went into another little adapter. I can transfer anything like this.
Oh, Laura, you just accidentally hit your mute button.
I know. Okay. That's what this looks like. Okay. Anything like this, or of course, VHS. So if you're in people's homes and you see any kind of this media, I can probably do it here at my store. I can also do slides. I'm sure you have a lot of those. Okay. And I can also do, I can also do negatives. I can also scan any negatives that you might have, and I can also put those on a USB. Actually, right now I'm working with 3 fire departments in my town. I'm working with Congers, West Nyack, and Nanuet, and they're taking all the old archives from the fire department, and they're archiving everything, and they're putting them, onto a USB or an external drive. That's what I do. I love my job. I would love to work with you guys if possible. And that's really about it.
All right. Thank you, Laura. We're going to open it up to Q&A in just a second. I'll just wrap up this presentation, and then I'll go back to the Brady Bunch.
Okay.
All right. So next month's POSSE's pen is a round robin of Clutterbuster strategies. So I haven't done a general decluttering presentation in a while. So that's what next month will be. You can register for it on my speaking page on my website. And of course, there'll be a follow-up email with a recording from today, and you can register there as well. Also wanted to mention, I'm doing an event. So Junk Luggers and I are doing an e-waste recycling on Sunday, May 22nd from 11 to 2. It's at the Terry O'Connor Real Estate School on Route 17 North, right next to Uncle Giuseppe's. And see how it says we cannot accept CRT tube TVs? We are taking CRT tube TVs. We are not taking ink or toner. But the bottom line is you can scour your home or your office, and anything you want to recycle from electronics you can bring there. And it's all the proceeds are going to the Grace Foundation, which is Terry's charity. So just wanted to mention that if anybody wants to come. I know lots of our towns recycling departments, especially in Bergen County, are really terrific at collecting these things anyways, but just kind of a fun community event. So come visit me there. And this is how to find me. Deborah is going to put in the chat box just some digital information about me. I finally got around to having a digital brochure. Yep, that's what we do these days because nobody gives out business cards. So there's going to be a brochure, a flyer, and a coupon in the chat box in case you wanted that. All right, so we're going to go to Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing. So if we have any questions for Laura or general questions, now's your time to unmute and ask us. Hi, Carlene, just unmute.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having this. They're wonderful every month. I look forward to them. Laura, I have a question. I didn't realize that, audio cassettes. I have audio cassettes of a friend of mine. He used to give talks.
Okay.
You can them. They could be transferred to what?
I can put them on a CD, the round disc, or I can put them on a digital format, which I can put them onto a USB stick. I mean, most people are doing the USBs now, which what that looks like, this little USB.
Okay.
Right? Or, like I said, you can put it on a CD, either or.
With the I'm really
No, that's okay.
I'm
Ask me
behind
away.
the times, which my husband and I are now trying to catch up with everything, all the technology. But with the USB, you can hear. So you put all his talks on a USB, and then I plug it in, and I can listen to them from the computer.
Yes, you can put it in your computer and listen to it. Your car your car might have a USB port that you can put this in. And also, if you have a smart TV, you might be able to put this in your smart TV and listen to it. This is all audio.
Okay. All right. That's
okay.
Great.
Does that make sense to you?
Sort of. I mean, I didn't know you can do it. I'm happy that could be done because I have a box of these cassettes and I didn't want to give up his homily. He's a priest and they were homilies of his and I didn't want to give them up.
So you bring these to me.
They're like that.
I can put them on this, and this is going to be an audio stick. It's going to be audio on here.
Okay.
Okay, you could put audio on here or video. So if you happen to have any family memories, I can also put the video on here.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have these.
Yeah.
I can put it on here. Okay.
Wow.
And you can play it, like I said. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't know.
Oh my God. I'm like, okay. Thank you very much.
So if you want to give me a call, Jean Marie, do you have my information on your website if anyone wants to call me?
I don't have it on my website. I have you on my resource list.
Okay,
everybody have, if you do not have, most people know that I have a 6-page donation resource list that I give away for gratis. If you do not have this list, email me. Deb, can you put my email right in the chat box? But it's jm@POSSEPartnersLLC.com. So jm@POSSEPARTNERSLLC.com. And I'm happy to send you my donation resource list. And it's alphabetical. So, and it goes by categories. So when you get to the category called media, which is on which is on page 4. 4 is right at the top.
Okay. Where do you live in the area?
Yes. I live in Ridgewood, but I know where you are. Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually right around the corner from the Palisades Mall.
Okay.
Okay. So give me a call. We'll meet for a cup of coffee, or you want to come to my store and I'll get all that stuff and do that for you immediately.
Okay.
The other thing that's great about Laura is from Bergen County, she's 20 minutes away. So it's not one of these deals where you have to put all these very, very special things in a box and ship them or mail them to a company who says they're going to put everything, who's going to digitize for you. You can drive everything up to her if that's what you want to do. I will make a suggestion. If you have a lot of memorabilia in your home that you want to have digitized, like, photos, slides, audio, etc. What I would recommend you do is find a landing strip somewhere or a project area in your house, go around your whole home, all your closets, basement, storage, attic, all of that, collect it all so that you're sure you've gotten, the slides from the attic and the reels from the basement and the photos from the crawl space, put it all together, categorize it by media, and then really think about, if you were to go to Laura, how would you want it organized? Like, think about how you want to see it in your future so that she knows how to create it for you from an organizational perspective, so that when you come home, it's literally just a matter of sitting down at your computer, plugging it in and transferring the files.
I mean, though, there are some people who just bring me in believe it or not, in a garbage can. I mean, I have people who brought things into me and say, okay, I've been trying to get here for the last 20 years. Do your magic, video magic. And I also do that a lot of times for customers. So either way, if you can get organized, that's really the way to go. If you can't, it doesn't matter. I can still help you a little bit with that stuff.
Yeah. I should have
And
put
I did put Laura's contact information in the chat, as well as links
Thank
to
you.
Jean Marie's digital brochures. And in the follow-up email, we'll we'll include that as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie.
Yep. So I'm just looking at the chat box. So how about resources for quilting? Do you mean memorabilia resources?
No, we have things to put into a quilt, and I don't want to ship them away either.
Oh, I see.
would rather find somebody locally who could help.
Oh, I would suggest Karen at Karen's Creations in Waldwick. And I think Sue might have somebody too. That way you're not going, you know, you're in Bergen County.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Oradell, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, and just send me an email. If you can't find it on the web, I'm happy to give you her information.
Thank you.
Sue, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I turned my kids' sports t-shirts and all of their t-shirts when they were young that I couldn't let go of. There is a quilt, a group of quilters in Pennsylvania. They are actually deaf quilters. Have you heard of this, Jean Marie?
No.
And they've taken over, they've rented a whole big house, and they're all deaf, and they take your t-shirts and they just turn them into a wonderful quilt. And you can either send the whole t-shirt and they'll work out, you know, what to do with it. Or in my case, I just cut out the pattern that I wanted to be included. And they do a great job. They really do. And I felt so good supporting a deaf, you know, this deaf company.
Great.
But the person who answers the phone is not deaf. So I would suggest, I can't remember the name, but that was a little joke. I can't remember the name, but I would suggest you Google deaf quilter business in Pennsylvania. So
Okay.
Sorry, I can Google it now if I can.
Sure. While you're doing that, I did just want to mention, this is relative to quilts in general, but most of the Joann's fabrics have a Project Linus box. So if you're just talking about materials, you know, to be donated, but I bet you if you were to contact Project Linus, they probably know quite a few people who do this on the side. So that's also on my resource list, but it's projectlinus.org. So projectlinus.org. And I have spoken with a woman named Leslie at 201-391-0102. So she might know some local people too who also do this.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions before we close?
So I found the company.
Okay.
It's Keepsake T-shirt Quilts. And they are in Pennsylvania. And their website is tshirtsquilts.com. tshirtquilts.com.
Just a T or T-E-E?
Just a T.
Tshirtsquilts.com?
One
Sorry.
shirt. T-shirtquilts, plural.com. They're a nonprofit social purpose organization. All proceeds support our mission of creating jobs for deaf individuals in a communication barrier free.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
Great. All right. Thank you. And just a reminder, if any of you have any friends or family or business partners that need any junk removal this spring, we are as eco-friendly as possible, and we have a lot of charity partners. So once we get everything back to our Hackensack warehouse, I separate it for Habitat, 9/11, breast cancer, Round 2 Resources, Bergen Volunteers Making It Home, etc. So we try to come at it from both a charitable perspective as well as an eco-friendly perspective. So I hope to see you all next month. for our round robin of clutter buster strategies. Remember, if you want to see more videos on my organizing, productivity, and decluttering topics, hit the subscribe button and you'll be alerted when the next one is ready.